Hello, 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 hello! So glad you could join us for Marvin Bowser Profiles CAfED. Its founder, Nelson Soto, and several artists from recent shows and an upcoming show called Celebrating Black Possibilities. Nelson, welcome.
Thank you. Wonderful, wonderful. We so appreciate you going out of your way and doing this. Very special. Means a lot. It means a lot for all the artists and for CAfED itself. Yeah.
So, what does CAfED stand for, Nelson?
CAfED reminds me of a cup of coffee. I love
No.
sitting down. I love sitting down. And if you see the logo, it's exactly a cup of coffee designed by one of our artists, Annie Arroyo. But it's a cup of coffee for certain people on our world, and then it can also be a cup of tea. It's about sitting down and breaking bread and getting to know one another, whether it's coffee or tea. It's a tool to just get to know one another, understand. And CAfED means collective artists for ethnic diversity.
And give me two sentences for what the mission of collective artists for ethnic diversity supports. What are we about?
To open up everyone's eyes and come to a point in their journey or in their life where we can understand, we take the time to respect and understand and unite with those that may not be the same as us. That's the mission. And we do it through the work of art. Because for me, art is like food. It it has the power and music to bring people together. And that's the mission.
Okay. Um, how in the art world, they're you could say they're the haves and the have-nots, right? And there's a lot of structure that makes it hard for artists, particularly artists of color, to be seen, be heard, to make a profit with their work. So how does CAfED help artists of color?
Well, CAFED, my mission and goal is to spotlight artists of the Black and Brown indigenous community. It's an area where I see where you don't see much of it. And I think it's time that others begin to understand who we are. And artists are like they're vessels that know how to bring people together. They create uh, they create open opportunities for us to explore ourselves, the things around us. Artists are like a landscape of beauty, and the Black and white community, Hispanics, Asians, you don't see much of that. And I feel that CAfED is a new place where it can bring people together to understand who we are as artists and also as a people, our community.
Hmm. Cool. How you've CAfED, and I'm going to say we because I'm part of CAfED as well. We've done a few shows. How have the shows describe some of the shows and how the show's been received in New York?
Well, the first show that I did was in 2020, actually it was 2019. It was a test pilot. I was inspired by an artist that I grew up with in the Lower East Side. We both grew up. We were both students of art, and I was inspired by the great work that she was able to accomplish as an artist, as well as others that grew up in the Lower East Side. So that inspired me uh, to create a show. It was like a pop up show, and it was very interesting because the reaction that I got from the people that went to see the show is what motivated me to even go further. So the first show we created was celebrating artists of the Puerto Rican community. It was very successful. It was located in Canal Street in New York City, and many of the people who came to see the show, as you know, Canal Street in New York City is a tourist attraction, or from all over the world. Their reaction was extremely positive, and many of them didn't realize the kind of work that Hispanic from the Puerto Rican community were able to accomplish.
Hmm.
So it gave me a vision even more to continue this journey, not only with Puerto Rican artists, but the African American community, Asian community. It really brings, I saw the reaction of people coming together. And in 21, we were able to do it on a bigger scale at a place called El Barrio Art Space, PS 109, in Midtown Manhattan. We were invited by the director herself, Miss Rolinda Ramos. And that again created the excitement and the positive feedback of people beginning to understand artists of color. And in this show, of course, was once again artists of the Puerto Rican community.
Hmm.
And what I love too, also the reaction that many people from globally, they were from Korea, they were from Poland, they were from wherever, they related and connected to the stories that these artists were expressing through their work.
Hmm.
And here we were having a conversation and almost like a unity of just gelling together. And it's given me a vision now to continue and do more and continue to shine light of artists of the Black and Brown community. That's very important.
Tremendous. When in that journey did you decide to move forward with the 501c3 nonprofit organization?
Well, I said to myself, I couldn't. The pop up show came out of my pocket. I have a family that I have to raise, but the passion and the reaction, and not only that, but having the opportunity to meeting other artists, uh, just created this excitement. I was also inspired by another friend that I went to school with, Albert Justiniano. I went to see a show. He had a show somewhere in Manhattan in a coffee donut shop, which really hurt me because I says this work doesn't belong here. It belongs at a scale where people can see and connect with how beautiful his work is.
Uh-huh.
So it's it just it continued. It continued to grow. I felt the important and the urgency to really create a platform for this, and I moved it into turning it into a nonprofit so that hopefully we can be supported and continue to move forward with this vision.
Cool. Um, so with four shows now, or So,
Well, the first show, with I have to give credit to the pop-up store
so
show because
let's so 4 shows. So how many artists are in the CAfED universe now?
well, between the pop-up, which was 7, and then the bigger scale, which was Seeing Voices of Visiones Boricua, turned into 15. And now with the celebrating Black Possibility, we have another group. And before that, we created a show celebrating Women for Women's Month. Altogether, we, I think, have now, believe it or not, 41 artists.
That's very nice,
Yeah.
and it's artists from like many different disciplines who have the opportunity to learn from each other as artists, as business people. So that's all good, right?
And what's wonderful is they're also exchanging phone numbers. They're working together. They're networking. And a couple of the shows, Phenomenal Women and Seeing Voices de Visiones Boricua, it opened doors for some of the artists to be invited in other shows. One was hired in the business world in graphics department, Miss
Mm.
Emily. She's now doing also curating and in 20, in 19, I think 19, no, 1920, 2021, she just graduated from Purchase and already she's working because someone found her work in one of these gallery
Great.
exhibits that we put together. So yes, 41, all socializing, all already volunteered to come in and support and help in this show coming in June's celebrating Black Possibility.
That's cool. What excites you most about CAfED? It's and the trajectory it's on.
Seeing artists, seeing doors opening for these artists. That's what excites me. Seeing them being asked to on assignments, seeing them display their work in other shows, seeing their work being sold. That's what excites me.
I
Really excites.
I salute all of that. I'm happy to have the opportunity to help where I can to promote.
That's my mission. My mission is if I'm going to spotlight artists of the Black and Brown community, it's not about me, it's about them, and it's about seeing them step forward.
Absolutely. Um, what so celebrating Black possibilities? What's your what's the highest goal you have for that show? How is that going to be different from the other shows?
Well, it's different because, believe it or not, um, for me, I felt that the Black community has given this country, the world, more than just visual art. Uh, for me, their strength is in the music world. For me, their strength is in dance
Uh,
and
You,
choreography.
you can say our strength.
Our strength, yes, absolutely. For me, it's literature, spoken words, poetry. I really, I'm proud to say that this show is going to have a little bit of all of that.
Hmm.
We have a group that will be playing in one of the dates. We have a choreographer, a dancer who will be doing a piece. We also have someone who has written a play, a drama. And we're proud of that, Tanya Everett. And it's more than just visual. We even have an architect, Mr. Mark Hill, who will be displaying his work because there's nothing impossible for the Black community. We can do that. We can do it all.
Absolutely. And for everybody listening, we have links at the end of this for you to register and learn more about celebrating Black possibilities. Cool. Um, we are getting close to time to bring in the next set of artists. So Nelson will come back at the end, and he and I'll talk some more. But we wanted to expose again our artists and their work, and hear from them about how CAfED has affected them. So thank you, Nelson, and we'll be back.
Yes, indeed.
Travis, go ahead.
Hello, hello. Can you hear
Yep.
me?
Yeah, and the question is, describe yourself as an artist.
Yeah, so I would say that a lot of my art comes from a place of connectivity, usually just between people. I'm such a native New Yorker, and I'm very much an extrovert, and very much get my energy from crowds. I don't even know how to describe that type of energy that I get, but I'm so much more influenced by that. A lot of the work that I do comes from street photography, so it's always having that eye of, just kind of being an onlooker, a watcher in a sense,
Hmm.
um, and really just kind of see how people connect in the most minor ways to the most like extreme ways. But yeah,
Cool. Sorry about that. So, you were in Seeing Voices. Describe that experience for you.
that was my first gallery experience that I've ever had the opportunity to do to really showcase my work. I've worked on this project throughout COVID of pretty much kind of going around New York City and just taking pictures of places that are normally super crowded to being completely dead. So, like Times Square, Soho, more the touristy areas, Dumbo, all of that. Um, and I chose to show that work. It was probably one of the hardest projects I've done just because it really felt very foreign to the kind of work that I create.
Hmm.
As I mentioned, it really comes from a place of like that connectivity of people and not having people as a subject, but shooting it for the purpose of showing that there are no people was a very strange thing to do for me. So being able to show that work while doing a project that was outside of my normal kind of train of thinking was both a very vulnerable state, and a very exciting one. I met so many artists that are just so ahead in their journey that pretty much gave me just the different nuggets of like, it's step into the journey of being an artist, step into the place of like showing your work and showing who you are, because that's ultimately what you're doing.
Right.
And it was so motivating. It was unlike any experience that I've ever had in any sort of thing that I do at work creatively to, I worked in a sort of like the commercial industry, so seeing my work is it's not as exciting sometimes.
Yeah.
But in the situation of seeing my work in a gallery space with so many artists that are so well seasoned and have done this before was it was really great to be in the room with these people. And Nelson kind of had that mission to sort of portray like connect with people, connect with other artists, connect with the viewers, connect with, I don't know, like anyone who you could pretty much connect with in that space. It truly was a special thing.
Right. My first exposure to you all was there, and I was, there with my camera, kind of, almost felt like I was eavesdropping at times, but it was magic for me, and I was just like visiting the exhibit, so I can appreciate, you having your work there with these very, people at different journeys, in their artist, adventure, but the love that was in the room was just
Yeah.
really really amazing. So
I
it
think that
really loved
specifically and how you described it was what made it so different. I
it.
mean,
Yeah.
I guess maybe for me, like I thought to myself that like it was something that I was experiencing as being part of the show.
Hmm.
But hearing you say that really does change my perspective on that. That you felt the same thing, and that's awesome. I'm glad you were
Yeah.
there, man.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what it was like.
Absolutely. Me too. Let's see if
Yeah,
we can get Donald in and get some more love.
yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
Don.
Hey, can you hear me, Marvin?
I can hear you. How about
Yeah,
that?
I was on my computer and I couldn't. All I heard was garbled noise, and I couldn't hear a thing. So I apologize.
Okay. No worries. You're here now. Uh,
Yeah,
so we're talking about like describing yourself as an artist, and then talk about your experience from Seeing Voices.
yeah. So I graduated from the High School of Art and Design, so I had a really good foundation in the arts. I majored in advertising design and illustration, And then I decided to pursue other career goals. So unlike my CAfED colleagues from art design who continued their profession artistically and were very successful, I had a different track. But several years after I graduated, I picked up a camera and I started photographing and documenting the Latin jazz scene in New York City. I wanted to marry my love for photography and my love for Latin jazz music. And so from that point on, I just continued in photography, just continued just developing my skills and so on and so forth. So fast forward a number of years, right around 2018, I pursued graduate studies, and when I was all done with my academic studies, I was just twiddling my thumbs. Right, I had like no papers, no research, no exams, and I said, "Wow!" I said, I was introduced. I think it was on YouTube. I saw a video on street photography, and I was like, man, that's a great genre that kind of fits right in my documentary style of photography. So
Mhm.
in 2018, I picked up a little Fuji camera, mirrorless camera, and I started shooting. And so from 2018 till now, that's the genre that I've been predominantly been pursuing.
Okay, cool. So, seeing voices, how has that affected you?
It's been amazing. I mean, Nelson is phenomenal as the other artists. It's pretty significant to me, specifically for the fact that I went to school with a lot of them, at art design. But a number of years ago, Nelson gave me a call and he told me about the first pop-up gallery that they were doing, and I was and and it wasn't I don't it wasn't an invitation. I think we were just catching up. We hadn't spoken in years, but I remember thinking, oh man, I'd love to participate, with my photography, especially since I knew some of the artists. And I can't remember if Nelson gave me an invitation or if I just kind of, whispered in his ear, like, hey, it'd be great if, I think I asked him if he had any photographers. And at the time he said, no, we don't have any photographers. And then anyway, we spoke and I think he already had the board. He had all the artists picked and everything. And so he said, well, let me, make some inquiries. And he did. And I jumped on and I was so happy that I did. And had a great experience at Canal Street for the very first pop-up gallery that we did, and then things have grown since. So it's just been an amazing experience for me.
Now, you're showing now, or you just finished a show in New York?
Yeah, no, I actually have two shows now. I have a local one here in Charlotte. It is associated with Queen's University, which is one of the local higher academic institutions, and they have every year they have a show for Latino artists. So I got an invitation. It's a virtual show because of COVID. So last year I was given an invitation, received an invitation rather, to submit some work for that. So that's an ongoing show now, which anyone can see on the computer. And then I was invited up to the Rio 3 Gallery up in the Heights, 155th Street and St. Nicholas Avenue, where I'm currently showing a series of my street photography work for the month of May. So I have two
Oh,
shows going on at the moment.
did the show in the Heights come from being show, showing at Seeing Voices?
Yeah, absolutely. So Emily Moreno, one of our younger artists, who's a phenomenal painter, she participated last year at the show at El Barrio Art Space.
Okay.
Uh, she had several. I think she had like four huge pieces, and her current job, one of the responsibilities that she has, is to fill these. I think Rio. There are three galleries: Rio Gallery 1, 2, and 3. And one of her responsibilities to find artists to exhibit their work. And she was, kind enough and gracious enough to reach out to me last year and invite me to show my work. So I submitted some of my street photography work, waited a small period of time, and then Emily got back to me, says, hey, it's accepted. You're going to have a solo show. So I'm really thrilled about that. It's kind of I've had several small local shows, but this was probably the biggest one for me yet. So
Right.
I actually just got back from the city yesterday, drove back
Cool.
down, but the
Cool.
show's still going on this month.
Good. Congratulations on that.
Thank
Um,
you.
so we have a couple more minutes in this segment. Any parting comments you'd like to make, gentlemen?
Yeah, so I mean, I just again I want to thank Nelson because Nelson, and you heard him, like he's just a selfless guy. Like his whole concern is just for the artists and getting the artist's work out there. And he is just, if there's anybody you need in your corner, it'd be Nelson. So
100%.
I give props to Nelson and all the other artists. I mean, I've met some amazing artists, and it's an enriching environment to be in, for sure. So, and, yeah, I'm just excited about my association with CAfED.
Great, thanks. Travis?
Yeah, I mean, I really want to echo a lot of what he said too. Is that like Nelson really is a special guy. Like he was so persistent with me to like be in the show, and I was like ready to do it, but a little resistant out of fear. And he really did everything he possibly could to calm that and like make me kind of show up in a way that was like truly myself. So yeah, special guy, man, special association, special group of artists. I mean, it's really great. Like especially with the numbers of shows that are coming up. I mean, definitely everybody check out the show that's coming up in June. It's going to be really, really, really great. A lot of great artists too.
Great. Thanks, gentlemen. And now we have a couple of phenomenal Joanne, how are you?
I'm good.
Okay, we're missing Franne.
Okay.
Let me. So why don't we start? Why am I up here twice? Let me see if I can fix that. I don't know.
But it's twice as good.
Twice as good. There's two. All right, now it's just us, and hopefully Franne will catch up. So describe yourself as an artist.
Let's see. I guess I would consider myself a color penciler, and I do acrylic, and I guess you consider myself a fine artist.
Okay,
I
how
love
long?
drawing.
Cool. How long have you been an artist?
Since about the fourth grade.
Okay.
I've never been to school. I've just done art on my own. I'm
Okay.
self-taught, I guess.
Okay.
But I was introduced to the love I have for nature and animals through a teacher who introduced me to reading National Geographics. So that was kind of my escape. I would just like look at these pictures and envision myself like being there with these animals and these places. And so I always gravitated to drawing animals, and that's where I am today.
Cool. What do you have a favorite subject?
I guess I guess animals in general, and I love drawing faces. I'm intrigued by the eyes on people, and because I could like read them, and I love painting them, and you know that's pretty much it.
Oh, here's Franne. Okay, I was just shooting a text. So describe your experience with phenomenal women.
I just recently retired from the New York State court system. I was in the legal field for 35 years. So I never did any art. I did art for myself,
Right.
as a hobby. And I went to see the show of seeing Voices, and I met Annie Arroyo, one of the artists, and we started talking, and then somehow we came upon me doing art, and so I showed her my stuff, and she was like, "You have to meet Nelson. I mean, you have to come out. Literally, you have to come out of the closet."
Right.
And so I said, "Really?" I was like, "No, no, no, I'm not a real artist." And then I met Nelson, and then he's like, "You got to be part of the next show I'm doing for Phenomenal Women." And so pretty much that was my debut. And and I got to tell you, it's been amazing, my experience. I feel like I should have been doing this my whole life. And so I hope to continue doing this for the rest of my life. I'm enjoying it. I'm meeting all these wonderful artists. Some of them have become really good friends in a very short time. The exposure, I'm having people commissioning me now for to do art.
How about
Uh,
that?
yeah, it's amazing. It's a wonderful experience.
You should see the joy on your face right now. You're just radiant. So I'm so
Oh,
happy for you. Yeah.
oh, thank you, thank you. It's been a good ride. It's been a good ride.
Fantastic. So let's bring Fran in to the conversation. Fran?
I'm here. Can you see me? My husband's showing me that I'm not centered. Am I?
Yeah,
I'm not-
yeah. You were better before. Now you're like really not centered. Oh, there you are. Okay,
Okay.
stay there.
Okay, I will. I thought I was centered. Anyway, here I am. I don't know what happened there, but I'm very happy to be here.
Okay, good. So I'm asking everybody to start by describing themselves as an artist.
Wow. First of all, I feel so incredibly honored to be in this company, and I think I wrote that to you. The people that I've met and the things that I'm hearing, and Donald and Travis kind of blew me away because I kind of fit in between the two of them. I'm an older person, and I love the fact that younger people are getting into art when they are. I consider myself a kind of a schizophrenic artist, maybe.
Okay, you're gonna have to break that down.
I'm gonna do that right now. I love to paint everything. So I love doing abstracts. I love doing meticulous, very detailed work. I love doing very free work. I love color. I love black and white, and I want to do it all. I think I was born an artist, and kind of took a circuitous route. Went to FIT out of high school, and it didn't work out, and then I had to go out into the business world and make a living for myself. So our art has been part of my life all of my life. But I really wasn't able to fully embrace myself as an artist, or even call myself an artist. Like Joanne was saying, I felt shy about it. And am I really an artist? And where do I belong? Am I any good? I don't think I'm any good. And I was very, very shy about showing my work. And I think many of us kind of feel that way. And so as an older artist, an older emerging artist, I've been up to my neck in art for about the last 7 or 8 years. This is all I want to be doing. And thankfully, my circumstances allow me to have my own little studio here in our home. And this is where I want to be and what I want to do.
Cool.
So
I'm going to let you both in on a secret. So I'm a photographer. I'm also an actor. I got into acting. I acted in it as a teenager, but I got back into it recently, not like the last 4 or 5 years. I show up. People think I know what I'm doing. They do. They do, because this gray hair comes in handy, man. So you just need to own your stuff. Own it, declare it, and it's yours. Nobody's going to take it from you, because
no,
your life experience comes out through your art.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yes, you've been an artist all your life.
All my life.
Yeah, I asked Joanne that as kind of a trick question. How long have you been an artist? And the answer is, I've always been an artist.
Always.
Always. It's a trick question. Cool. So talk more about how Phenomenal Women impacted you as an artist.
Well, as I said, I was kind of shy. I was very lucky that Phenomenal Women came to me through 2 very good friends. Actually, one student who was my student in seminary. I'm an interfaith minister, and I was a first-year dean at the seminary where I was trained and my husband was trained. And Ann Lieb, who is a very good friend of Nelson's, was working with him, pulling that show together, and a friend of hers mentioned me because she was seeing my work on Facebook. So it just, the universe has an amazing way of bringing us where we need to be.
How about that?
So it was Anne that called me and said, "You need to be in this show." And I immediately went, "Oh, me? I don't know." And she said, "No, you're doing it." So then I was connected with Nelson, who is just a light being. He's just a walking beacon, and he's bringing all of us together in. And I think it was it Travis earlier that said that the love, and it's capital letters love, the energy of what he's created is so filled with love and good vibes. And in the world that we're in right now, we need that so badly. So I feel particularly, I felt so welcomed, and I'm coming from a long distance. I live in central New Jersey, so to get to the city is especially to the El Barrio is a little tricky. But I walked into that space and felt like people's arms just were around me. And I'd never seen any of them except for one person in the show was a student of my husband's at seminary. So it brought us together with old friends. And now I feel like we have a whole new community of people who we just love each other. It's just amazing, palpable energy that I want it. I want to be in it. I want to be there. I'm so honored and so thrilled. So it gave me some confidence that I feel like I was lacking. And I think I didn't hear all of what Joanne was saying, but I know her, and I know that we share a very similar, kind of hesitation and sort of going, "You want me, little old me." But yeah, it made me feel like I could do a lot more than I even thought I could do, and I'm abundantly grateful, more than I could see.
Cool, thanks. So, Joanne, you want to expound?
Yeah, I mean, like Franne, I just, I walked into this to El Barrio, and all of a sudden I was like, do I really fit in? I just, I had never shown my work to the public before, only to family and friends. And so once I walked in, and I was like, God, these women are phenomenal. Like, just the title itself, but I'm looking at their work and I'm like blown away. And I'm like, do I really belong here? But I got to tell you, on opening night, when so many people showed up, and even with the pandemic and everything, and the love that people were giving us, I mean, they were coming up to me and they were telling me how blown away they were by my art, and how long have I been an artist. And then I'm telling them, that I'm coming out, and I'm feeling good. And it has given me like this new sense of energy and like resilience that I just need to push forward and just do more. I just feel really in a good positive space now.
Oh, that's just beautiful. This is
Yeah.
wonderful, and nothing builds confidence like success, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And one of the things I discovered when I started showing my work was how powerful and how good it felt when other people like connect with your work.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Um, and it's like, and I'm kind of eclectic too, so I'll have some quirky stuff. And when people get the quirky stuff, that's even more special, right?
That's right.
That's fun. But wow! So thanks, ladies. So we have actually a couple more minutes left in this segment. If you have any parting comments you'd like to make.
I would
I
like to. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Joanne.
Oh, thing. I just want to, really thank Nelson. I mean, the time he puts into this, and the passion that he has for Black and Brown, artists. As a Latina woman, I never thought in a million years that I would ever be out there to the point that I am now. Because as a Latina woman, I've even in my job for 35 years, I never felt like I fit in completely ever. And I feel like now I'm being recognized for something that I love, and it's so positive. And I have to thank him, and a shout out to Annie Arroyo, because I don't think it ever would have happened had she not said, "You must do this. You
Great.
can't hide anymore. You must do this." So
That's fantastic. Thank you for that. And Franne?
Well, I'm going to echo, Nelson is just such a special man. And as soon as I heard what his vision was for the first time, he just drew me right in. Obviously, I'm not a person of color, but I am a woman, and I have spent as much of my conscious life, and as far back as I can remember, and we could talk about this in person sometime in detail, being very conscious of ethnic diversity. And that is, anyone who knows me knows that that is a very much a part of my worldview. So to be part of an organization that focuses completely on that, as someone who is, I don't want to say I'm on the outside because I don't feel like I am.
No, you're a sister.
But to be embraced by it is, I don't even have words to describe what it means to me to be embraced in this way, and to be part of an organization like this, and to be one of the artists that's included there. I'm a little bit speechless, and I don't get speechless very often on how to verbalize what that means to me. So and thank you also for what you're doing, because I believe you're on the board, so we really like you. We really like you. So I'm humbled, and I'm very, very grateful, and thank you so much.
Well, thank you. And
thank you.
Meeting you. Look forward to when we can meet in person.
Me too.
So ladies, thanks so much. So it's time for the next group. So thanks. So the next group of artists have not been in a show with CAfED yet, but they're part of the Celebrating Black Possibility show, which I am also. So let's get another look at them and their work. So we're all here. Hello. Welcome back. And I've been asking everybody to describe themselves as an artist, and then talk about, and in this case, since we haven't had the Celebrating Black Possibility shows, the second question would be, what do you hope to achieve from your participation in Celebrating Black Possibility? Let's start with Tao.
Such a pleasure to be here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Wonderful. So I'm Tao Battice, and I never really call myself an artist, but I am. I make photographs, so in some ways, I'm a portraitist, sometimes a visual anthropologist. So I make photographs, but I make them with an academic bent. So I'm also a professor at City University. And so I use photographs to explore identity, and particularly identity within the African diaspora in the Western Hemisphere. So a lot of my work is based in the Caribbean and so-called Latin America, South America. I just got back from Brazil. I think the last time we spoke, I was in Brazil. So I just got back from Brazil, continuing a project there called Cabela Rivela, or Cabela dela Rivela in Portuguese. It means her hair reveals her. And
So,
it explores what a lot of
Tao,
people.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Can you turn your audio up? Any?
I'm sorry. Is that better? Can you hear me?
It's a little better.
A little better. Should I get closer?
That might help.
All right. So I was saying that should I start from the top or?
If you wouldn't mind.
Yeah. So I am Tao Battice, and I was saying that I don't really call myself an artist, but I do make portraits. I'm a portraitist, and in many ways a visual anthropologist. And so I study people, study identity using photographs. And much of my work deals with the African diaspora in the New World, so the Caribbean and North America, South America, Central America. So I travel to those places making photographs and actually interviewing quite extensively. And we do exhibits from time to time, but ultimately this is like book work for me, but also leveling the field in terms of the understanding of identity and the understanding of so-called blackness. And so I have this concept for my work, which I call a bigger blackness, meaning there's so many ways to be black, right? And so to be a part of celebrating black possibility is really exciting for me. Yeah, I think, and I do know some of the artists also. So to see those different.
Hey, Tao, I'm sorry. People are still having a hard time hearing you. Can you speak up a little louder?
Okay. Right. So can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? No? All right. So cut to someone else and then I'll come back.
Okay, deal.
Right. All right.
Yaritz, please.
Give me 1 second. Can you hear me? Perfect. Hello, everyone. My name is Yaritz Piniero. I was born in the Dominican Republic, and I've been raised in New York City since I was 4. It's been a pleasure to work alongside all these artists and see their work in person. I was actually part of the Phenomenal Women Showcase back in March. But I'm very, very excited to see these new narratives shared by all these artists, as well as, the cultural experiences that we all share together and individually as well.
Cool, thanks. So I'm sorry, did I get that wrong? You were in Phenomenal Women and you're not in Celebrating Black Possibilities?
I was in Phenomenal Women, and now I'm also in Celebrating Black Possibility.
Okay, cool. Okay. So what do you hope to achieve in Black Possibilities?
So your question, can you repeat it one more time, please?
What do you hope to achieve from your experience in Black Possibilities, Celebrating Black Possibilities?
What I hope to achieve, wow. Well, mainly make connections. I remember the outcome for the opening reception for Phenomenal Women, and that was amazing. So I can only imagine the amount of connections that we will all make this new reception. But also just to celebrate the accomplishments, the identity of all the artists, and the many ways we'll continue to blossom as artists and as individuals as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and thanks so much for that. I'm looking at the comments. I'm getting conflicting feedback on what the whether they can hear Tao or not. So I'm going to go back to Tao, and if you wouldn't mind, Tao, pick up where you left off, please.
Right. So I was saying that much of my work intersects the African diaspora, particularly in the New World. So I use photographs to do that. I also interview extensively. So I study human beings, but I also like to make honorable, dignified portraits of people, particularly of the African diaspora, because it seems that in many instances and for many years, those were missing. So as far as my work in Brazil, I was talking about how I went there to study women and how here is important for women, and particularly women of the African diaspora coming out of that, that colonial, that post-colonial framework, where so many, so many concepts of self had been trampled down by the systems that were in place. So it's really quite liberating now for me to be able to do this work and to share it with CAfED and with celebrating Black possibility. So as far as what I look forward to the work connecting with the people that it is made for. And so like Yaritz, for instance, I know some of her work, so I see the intersections with her work and mine. And so as far as June 10th, I look forward to people coming out. I look forward to the stories. I look forward to the connections. I look forward to people empathizing with the people that they'll see in the photographs.
I've been on your Instagram page and really enjoy walking that journey that you've walked. So really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Cool. Yen, please.
Hi, can you hear me? Okay, great. So, hi everyone. My name is Marienne Thomas, known as Yen MT, my artist name. And I've been in art or drawing, sketching since I was a child, and that's something I did privately. It wasn't something that I shared with family and friends. So I've been engaged in this particular love, secretly, like I said, and it became public about, I would say, 4 years ago or 4 to 5 years ago. And that was birthed out of going through so many different experiences, highs and lows, being a caregiver for my mom, who is now gone and with the Lord at the moment, and will always be with the Lord. But that's where the artistry birthed out. And I identify myself as a visual artist, portraitist mainly. I started painting turbanistas, which is a Black or African American women from various, backgrounds wearing head wraps. And I thought they were beautiful. That was something that spoke to me. That kind of reminded me about my mom and her youth, and how she always ties her head, especially when she's in prayer or going to church. So I kind of like lean into that and pulled a lot of beautiful images of women in head wraps. And so that was the first project I did. And now my work has evolved from that to just paint things that projects beauty and hope from life experiences, and mainly experiences of being a caregiver.
Nice. Thank you for that. So what do you hope to achieve by participating in celebrating Black possibility?
Oh, wow. Well, outside of networking, outside of meeting great people and great artists like I have, I was also part of the Phenomenal Women exhibition, and it was a wonderful experience. And I'm expecting the same experience, if not greater. But outside of all of that, um, my main my main goal is really to inspire the younger people that I lead, the young people that I teach, all the young people that looks up to me. When they come and support my work and support what I'm doing, they see themselves moving forward and pushing forward and being creative in this world. They see hope and the maintenance of hope, so that we can continue to push and thrive and be successful, right? So they're seeing me shaping my destiny, and I like the fact that I'm able to inspire that in them.
I love that. I like bringing along the next generation and
Absolutely.
pouring your experience all over them. That's lovely.
I've been teaching for a very long time. I've been a youth leader, a teaching artist for quite a while. And I speak about the things that I love to do, but they've never gotten a chance to see the things I love to do. And now I have a platform of doing that and showing them. And I love it when they're wowed by it. It really melts me.
Yeah, that's so nice. Um, So we have a few more minutes left in this segment. If you'd like to leave a closing comment, let's start back with Tao.
Well, once again, it's really such an honor, and can I just kind of tip my hat to Nelson? And I say that because Nelson saw like one image on my phone, and it's like, hey, you have to be in this next show, you know. So I was at the last show at El Barrio Art Space, and we just kind of like bumped into each other, right? And we got into conversation, and his heart. I mean, we had a phone conversation like 2 days after that for like almost an hour, and you know, he's just a wonderful soul. So Nelson, I know you're watching. Thank you so much, and this is just the beginning, the proverbial tip of the iceberg of what we will do. So you're much appreciated.
Thank you. Yeah, Yaritz.
Yes, I would like to follow up on what Tao said. Definitely a big, big shout out and thank you to Nelson for allowing us all to show our experience as artists, and also just being very, very, um, how do I say this? Always pushing us to exhibit our best selves and believing in us even when we don't. I appreciate you very, very much.
Thank you, and Yen, you get the final word.
Oh my gosh, I'm really trying not to cry because it is a very, very sensitive time for me. I recently lost my mom, and at the time, Nelson was putting me through to keep creating. And I didn't have energy, I didn't have the momentum, all of that went flat. But what gave me strength was the idea and the thought that my next was so close. And I'm in my next. And I thank Nelson so much for allowing me to be in this platform, because now I'm able to be happy and smile and be proud of myself as my mom would be proud of me right now. Because I didn't really get a chance to see this part, but I know she's watching. And I thank Nelson so much because he's been on the phone with me a few times, pushing me through and praying me through. And it just allows me to remember that, you know, man's talent makes room for him and it ushers him before great people. And I see Nelson as one of the great people. And I know there's many more of meeting great people to come. So thank you so much, Nelson and Marvin, for this opportunity to speak to the public.
Well, thank you, and thank you for sharing that. And we're sorry for your loss, but we're glad that you could lean on us for support at this time.
Thank you.
So Nelson's back. Let's bring Nelson in. Let's see if we can get everybody in. There he is.
You see, you want to find out more about CAfED? Just listen to these artists. It's about them. It's not about me. My best work is not speaking in front of the camera. My best work is working behind the scene. That's where I shine. These artists are great speakers, and all I did was boo-hoo throughout the whole thing. But it's not about me. It's about them. I'm responsible to shine a light on these artists because they are great, and you need to come see the show and see their work, and then you'll understand. And that's the purpose for me to create this, is to create everyone to come and see the work of artists from the Black and Brown community, and you'll be surprised how much in common we have. We're so divided. It's not about talking about the division anymore. We have to have healthy conversations, and the conversations can be beautiful through the work of art and, of course, cuisine.
Absolutely. Thanks. You guys can stay on if you like, but I have some information for folks. Again, Celebrating Black Possibility is the next show. Runs from the 7th to the 24th of June at El Barrio's Art Space. The we're doing a VIP reception fundraiser on the 9th of June, and contact me if you would like to attend that. My email is there, but it's gmail.com. I guess I didn't quite type it. So marvimage@gmail.com is the correct email. And our opening reception at El Barrio's Art Space is June 10th, at El Barrio. So,
That's 215, yeah, 215 East 99th Street. That's between 1st and 2nd Avenue, New York, 1029. And if you want RSV, we really recommend the RSVP. You can find that through eventbrite.com. Eventbrite.com.
right. So if you go to eventbrite.com, you can just search for Celebrating Black Possibility. Or if you're an advanced user, you can scan the QR code and it'll take you right there.
Yes, I have to learn so much about those things. I'm quite prehistoric.
Or actually, if somebody has the link to the Eventbrite handy, you could drop it into the comments on Facebook, and that would be a great way to share it if you can do that. And if you'd like to follow the artists on Instagram, there's everybody's Instagram handle. In this day and age, followers is important and to building our business as well as our community. So please take advantage of that. And our website is there at the bottom of this slide, CAfEDinc.org. If you want to learn more about the organization, see more about our events, and of course make a donation if you are so inclined. So Nelson,
Yes, Mark.
You have closing comments?
I so appreciate these artists. They're wonderful. And I know doors are going to continue to open for them. But I also appreciate everyone that will take the time to come out and support us, experience the work, meet the artists. That's the goal, to create everyone to not feel intimidated, but just walk right on in and feel like what Franne was saying, you can feel the love and that you are welcome and you are part of this great, bountiful feast that's lays before you.
Thanks. That was cool. Joanne, your sister-in-law's on making. I just left a comment.
Yes. This is all new, but I see it growing more and more every month. And well, can you imagine? We started with 7 artists. In less than 2 years, we already have 41. And my goal for 2023 is to continue to celebrate artists of the Black community, do a global Hispanic celebration of artists. But I'm also focusing on my new vision. It's a vision that I woke up and I felt very strong to see how far we can go, and that is to celebrate artists of the Asian community. That's my next goal. Also, possibly Middle Eastern artists. We'll take it step by step.
Right. There's so many. There's just so many opportunities to discover, fresh faces, fresh perspectives in art. So.
Mm-hmm.
Good. And you're counting 41, but those 41 people know 41 more people. So it's more than 41. I'm just.
Well, it's now 46 because, believe it or not, I may not speak freely behind in front of a camera, but I'm doing my work. I already interviewed 6 fantastic artists of the Asian community. My wife and I had the pleasure of breaking bread on a Saturday night with artists Meharang and his lovely wife Rahija. And I'm doing my homework. So as June blossoms with celebrating Black possibility, I'm already starting the vision for 2023.
Okay, cool. Cool. So, do you have any parting comments, Nelson?
I wish everyone love and good health and unity.
Love, good
We
health.
need more of that. Few words. Those words are not respect, understanding, compassion. Those are the words that I end this wonderful moment with you, Marvin. I think we need to hear those words.
Absolutely, absolutely, and thanks so much for everything you're doing. Thanks for being you. Thanks for being so open and free and giving and loving everybody around you. And as someone said earlier, like in this day, we just need more Nelsons in the world. We'll all do what we can to support you in this wonderful mission. How about that?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you, Marvin.
Okay, thank you. So let's close, and I'll be in New York for the show. So we'll hope to see everybody in person there, and I'll be there like through that weekend. So that'll be cool. I'm really looking forward to it. Okay, and with that, let's sign off.